Fairfax Media reports that talks between China and the island nations are in the preliminary stages but could culminate in a permanent Chinese military presence on Australia's doorstep. The base would be less than 2,000 kilometres from the Australian coast and be the first overseas base China has established in the Pacific. The move is the latest in China's attempts to counter US power in the region. Well, Greg Colton is a research fellow at the Lowy Institute and he joins me now. Greg, welcome. So how should Australia feel about the prospect of a Chinese military base on Vanuatu?
Well, I think the first thing, and I think Julie Bishop said it very well this morning, was a sense of don't panic too much. It's easy to get carried away with headlines. I think it's more likely to be a dual-use facility, and that's I think what is the concern at the moment, is that by funding port infrastructure the way it is proposed in the and has been reported, is that could then in the future be used for the People's Liberation Army Navy to base itself out of.
So what Chinese interest has there already been in Vanuatu, the funding that's gone towards that country?
So between about 2006 and 2016, around $243 million worth of Chinese aid has gone to Vanuatu. Only about 60 million of that is through grants, so the rest are through concessional loans, around about 76%. That gives China a significant amount of economic leverage. For example, 47% of Vanuatu's external debt is to China at the moment.
Right. And so what is the concern here? So some people are raising concerns about it. You say people shouldn't panic, but should there be a concern that China is continuing to extend its influence in the region?
Well, I certainly think that the Pacific over the next 10, 15 years will become an area of greater geostrategic competition. It's how China decides to exercise its ambitions in the region. And one of the things we can look at is the Indian Ocean, the way it's done that in Maldives, in Sri Lanka. There is a much greater Chinese presence there and military presence there. I suppose one of the other things that Australia really has to grapple with is because China is not a democracy, it is a one-party state, it has just changed the constitution to have a leader for life. This is not as if it's France or the UK or a traditional ally of Australia which is proposing to do that. So I think it will be raising alarm bells in both Canberra and Washington.